Hello and welcome back to Mario Kart Wii. Where in the last episode we raced in the Star Cup on Mirror, or the Mirror Star Cup, and in this episode we are going to be racing in the Mirror Special Cup, and we are going to be using let's use Diddy Kong. And we're going to be using the new bike we unlocked last time, which is the Dolphin Dasher. Manual transmission, of course. And let's race in the Mirror Special Cup. Let's do it. Alright, so last time we started talking about some of the stuff that we were talking about SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, which is the remastered version of the game that THQ Nordic is going to release in 2020. I don't know when they're going to release it in 2020. I'm hoping. I mean, so the Amazon page has it listed as December 31st, 2020, but all that means is it will be released by the end of the year. If I were a betting man, I would say that it's. I mean. Well, then again, so I was going to say they're probably going to release it October-ish or around that time next year. But then I thought, well, they're showing gameplay in August, so it can't be that far off. So I don't know. I don't know what that was terrible. I don't know what their plans are. All I know is it's going to be sometime in 2020, and that's all I know. So we're just going to play it by ear, and rest assured, whenever it does come out, I will be doing a full-blind Let's Play of it, 100%. Every nook and cranny, we're gonna play the game from start to finish, and we are going to scrutinize the ever-living heck out of it. Now, that being said, I did mention last time that there are some things that I would be happy to see changed. There are plenty of things that the game there are some things that the game could improve upon. Like there are reasons why it ranks number 2 on my list instead of number 1. That doesn't mean it's not still an incredible game. It is. It's freaking awesome. But there are that doesn't mean it's flawless, right? And I would be happy to see some of those flaws corrected. That being said, there are still some things that they absolutely cannot touch. And the number one thing, actually, you know what? Let's go in reverse order. I want to save that for last. So I'm just thinking of all the stuff that I don't want them to change in my head. And the one thing is SpongeBob Arena. So for those who don't know, when you beat the game, you unlock a special arena. So like when you beat the game, let me try again. When you collect 77 golden spatulas, by which I mean you collect 75, unlock Chum Bucket Lab, then you go fight Robo SpongeBob and then Robo Plankton. I never played the game like that. I always go for 98, then go fight, then go to the Chum Bucket Lab. But a lot of people prefer to do the 75 way, and that's fine. You know, play however you choose to. But if you do that 75, if you do go when you have 75, you won't unlock a special ending. You will just get the thing where they say there's still more work to be done out there, so then you go up with the rest. But if you collect 98 golden spatulas, then go fight in the Chum Bucket Lab to unlock your final 3, then all of a sudden you get a secret ending where the whole cast of the entire game shows up on the. They show up in the Krusty Krab and they sing the theme song, and it's a very heartwarming, kind of very upbeat finale where it's like the whole gang's here and they're playing the theme song, and it's like, oh, one big happy family. Then you unlock a special arena, and I'll talk about that in the next race once I go there. And it is a SpongeBob arena in which, over the course of the game, what you've been able to do is you've been able to you can become a SpongeBob essentially, and that has been essential for some parts of the game. But now it's just an area. While the credits are rolling, you can roll around the area, do whatever you want, and it's just a fun area to go around in. And yeah, it is a relatively small part of the game considering it is it's the credits scene. But it is still so awesome that I would be really, really sad if they didn't include it in the in the remastered version. The other thing, dialogue and cutscenes. Do not touch the dialogue. Do not touch the cutscenes. The level of SpongeBob humor that they achieved the first time around was perfection in the dialogue, so please don't change the NPC encounters. Then, as far as the cutscenes are concerned, cutscenes were also awesome, and obviously they're going to update the graphics, but as far as the actual content of the cutscenes, please don't change those. They got it right the first time. You don't need to change. You don't need to change what they did the first time. Now the other thing, this is a little bit of murky ground, which is level design. So, what I am more than happy to encourage, in fact, I would actually encourage this, like, within Jellyfish Fields, for instance, we'll say, let's say that in the Jellyfish Lake area, there was another section, like, when you get to the top of Jellyfish Lake, let's say there's another section, instead of going into Mount Spork, there's another set of platforms a little bit further out west that you could go complete a little platform challenge instead. That's something that I would kind of expect. Not that specific example, but expect sounds like I expect you to do better. No, what I am hoping that they do is, that's a better word, is include their own level design, like add more I'm be more than happy to see them add their own spatulas, like new quests to do, or I say quests, new spatulas to obtain, new socks to find, things like that. To add their own content on top of the original content. That's what I'm hoping for. And at that point, they can do whatever they want with level design. I mean, obviously, something has to be good, but they can do whatever they want with that. But what they cannot touch is the original level design that the game perfected, because the original game's level design was perfect in every way. It should not be touched. And yes, I am including the kelp vines, because even though the kelp vines can be frustrating, they are very well designed and they are fair. So, you know, please don't touch the level design. That's kind of important, but all of those things, they shouldn't touch them. But if it came down to changing this next thing, or changing bits and pieces of the other three things, I would happily choose to change the other three things over what I'm about to talk about next. Music. The music in the original game was also, like, it was beyond perfection. It had ascended to a new level of perfect. Every single track in the entire game sounds exactly like it where it belongs. It's so hard to describe why that is, but I could play you without you having ever played the game. So long as you understand who SpongeBob is, and you understand. Like, if you're given a list of all the areas in the game, and you understand who SpongeBob is, you could have never played the game before, and I can play you the tracks, even just bits and pieces of any of the tracks, and I would say you would be able to tell me where pretty much all of them come from, because they're all, that's, like, if you can hear the music, and immediately envision yourself in the area that it's trying to portray, then that means you have a darn good soundtrack. There isn't a single track, except for Sand Mountain. Sand Mountain does not have its own soundtrack, and that I would say that if they included their own soundtrack, like if they added their own theme for Sand Mountain, that would be more than welcome. I would encourage that, because currently it's just the Hub World theme that plays during Sand Mountain. So I'd be fine with them changing that. But every other one has their own track. And they're all perfectly themed. Oh wait, there's one more. SpongeBob's Dream. I don't even know. That's more like the. I mean, I would consider that theme to be SpongeBob's Dream theme more than I would the Enemy Gauntlet theme, because it's the same track that plays. For instance, when Patrick's Dilemma is coming up and you have to save Patrick from a bunch of robots. It's the same track that plays there as the one that plays during SpongeBob's Dream. But I would consider that to be SpongeBob's Dream more than I would that theme. So you know, it just. Leave the music alone. You can add no you can't. You can add a new track in Sand Mountain, but everything else you gotta leave alone. You don't touch the music. Like if you do what Halo 2 did with Blow Me Away, sorry, you don't get forgiven for that. That is atrocious what they did. Because I could, like, when I really never understood initially when I first played Halo 2 Anniversary. I'm like, really? I mean, it's not great music, but not that bad. But I had never played Halo 2 when it first came out, so I didn't understand. Like, I had never heard the original music. Well, then when I actually did hear the original music, I went back and played through it again. I'm like, oh my god, this is awful. What did they do? So now it's happening to a game that I actually played when it first came out. To a game that I've been playing for what's going to be 17 years, probably, when this game actually comes out. So, you don't mess with this music. You got that? That's rule number one, is do not, or I repeat, do not mess with the music in SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. That's number one on the list of unacceptable things. So, just don't do that. And you should be, even if you make little tweaks to the level design, even if you make little tweaks to the dialogue, little tweaks to SpongeBob Arena, I still say you shouldn't, but if you do that, and you just leave the music alone, then you're fine, good, I'll happy, great job. Oh, maybe, actually, you know what, maybe the boss themes. No, because the song that plays in the final battle in the brain is actually probably one of my favorite tracks in the entire game. Like, mind you, that's up against really stiff competition. I'll talk about this in the next race. The track that plays when you go into the brain and the fish announcer says, "Will SpongeBob be able to neutralize the giant robot brain?" That song that plays, I don't know the name of the song because I never actually looked up what their names are, but I know what they sound like. I'm never gonna figure out what they sound like. And it's like, I almost don't even want to say that one's better than the other, just because they all fit their, like, what I value most in game soundtrack is, does it fit the situation? Does the song that's playing match what's going on currently? And that's the thing with Halo 5, oh dear, Halo 5 soundtrack, which is, yes, the songs are good and they're catchy and I do like them, but for the most part, like, they all sound exactly the same, right? I mean, they don't, okay, but it's just, like, the music is always epic. There's never a moment where the music slows down or anything. It's always just epic all the time, so there's, like, none of it has meaning, right? Now, mind you, I still like Halo 5 soundtrack, and I still like hearing the music as I play, but when you compare it to the previous soundtracks, yeah, it doesn't hold a candle. Whereas in stuff like Halo 2 and Halo 3, there's always, there's a music piece to accompany the situation that you are in. Whether you're flying a Hornet, driving a tank, or just having a nice stroll, or actually the best example I can come up with is, in comparison, like, you have the Warthog run in Halo Combat Evolved, where, again with, I keep drifting off the course. You have the Warthog run in Halo Combat Evolved with obviously the awesome music. Well, it starts off, actually, it doesn't start off with the awesome music. It starts off with okay, this is a pretty nice drum beat. We should probably get the heck out of here. But then, when you realize that Echo 419 isn't gonna save you, then all of a sudden, oh, I keep falling off Rainbow Road. Then all of a sudden it gets intense. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, this is actually serious, and I lost a lot of time just sitting there. Hey look, it's our first POW block of the episode, or actually no, it's first POW block of the entire Let's Play, and almost none of them were affected by it. Nice. But it's like, wow. Then that's the point when the game, again, I keep falling off the, That's the point, if I can speak, when the game kicks in the Halo theme. That's the point when it gets really awesome, and suddenly everything sounds a lot more epic and intense, and that's... The game knew how to scale its sounds appropriately. And then, when stuff like the flood encounter, when you first encounter the flood, it's a very mystical, it's a very... I guess mystical is probably arcane, that's the word. It's a very arcane sound. It's like the sense of discovery and horror and wonder. Then it turns into a very dramatic build-up to, oh god, what are we about to see? And then there's stuff like, in Halo 4 when you first step onto the, to Requiem and you, well, not when you first step on, but when you first step out of that cave section and into the main section of Requiem, where you, like, the sun glares and it's a very pretty shot, that build-up, that is another incredible song. Like, what I'm getting at here is what first off, like, there aren't many moments like that in Halo 5, which is probably why the soundtrack isn't as good as the previous ones, but, how this relates to SpongeBob's Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom is what I value most, oh my god, is does the song that's playing relate to the situation at hand? Does this music match where we are and what's going on? If yes, then great. And then we judge the quality of the music in Battle for Bikini Bottom. That holds up. The music is also really, really freaking good. So long as that is as long as that all matches, you're fine. But basically, long and the short of it is, I love this game so much. And the amount of scrutiny I will hold this game under is ridiculous. So, we will see how the cookie crumbles. But for now, we're playing Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart, not Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart Wii, apparently. Yeah, right. That's what's going on right now. I kind of forgot that I was doing that because, you know, I was talking about SpongeBob SquarePants Battle in game soundtracks. But anyway, let's go to the awards ceremony. You got first place. And an A ranking, not too bad. No, honestly, I expected worse. You won the Special Cup in Mirror Mode. Congratulations, you've unlocked a large bike, the Phantom. And that'll be for this episode of Mario Kart Wii. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time, and I hope to catch you all tomorrow, or on Tuesday for some more Mario Kart Wii. Goodbye.